Am I audible, ma'am?
Zenith ma'am, please unmute yourself.
No issues. You're
Good.
audible, absolutely, and visible as well. Fantastic.
Okay, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to all the dignitaries, faculty members, students, and participants. On behalf of Chaudhary Devilal College of Pharmacy, I, Dr. Minki Mukhija, welcome you all to this webinar on artificial intelligence driven pharmaceutical product development. Artificial intelligence is transforming pharmaceutical product development by improving drug discovery, formulation optimization, safety prediction, and development efficiency. Today's session will highlight how artificial intelligence is shaping the future of pharmaceutical field. It's my privilege and honor to introduce our distinguished speaker, Professor Dr. Jeanat Iqbal, a renowned academician, visionary researcher, and an inspiring leader in the pharmaceutical sciences. Dr. Jeanat Iqbal is a professor in the Department of Pharmaceutics at the School of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Jamia Hamdard, New Delhi. With over 25 years of academic and research experience, she has made a remarkable contribution in the field of novel and nano-based drug delivery systems, periodontal therapy, oncology targeted drug delivery, women's health therapeutics, with more than 230 research publications, 47 book chapters, 18 funded research and consultancy projects, and 8 patents. She has a remarkable academic record. She has been recognized among the top 2% scientists in the world in medicinal and biomolecular chemistry by Stanford University Global Analysis. Professor Iqbal has also been a resource person at over 130 scientific events, delivered invited lectures globally, and organized more than 60 conferences and workshops. With over 40 national and international awards, she stands a true inspiration in the field of pharmacy. We are truly privileged and honored to have her with us today. Please join me in warmly welcome Professor Dr. Jeanat Iqbal to share her expert insights in artificial intelligence driven pharmaceutical product development. Welcome, ma'am. Ma'am, the stage is yours. Ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Suprabhat, good morning, and assalamu alaikum. I think it has been a privilege for me to be present here on this prestigious occasion. And we are celebrating National Pharmacy Week. It is ongoing. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Dr. Devkant Sharma. I am indebted to all the organizers for giving me this opportunity and being with you, the faculty members, as well as the young students here. And Dr. Minke, thank you so much for that generous introduction. So I think, let me just check out the slides, if they're visible to all of you, and we may start with this. Students हमारे B Pharm, M Pharm, PhD होंगे?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is the slide visible?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let me just again. Is it visible?
Yes, now it's visible.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much. So to begin with, one thing is there. However big the technology is, it is the human being who can actually control everything. There was a technical glitch. The screen is not visible. The link is not there. But the human mind is so strong that we will overcome all these glitches and hopefully do whatever is best possible for us. I think that's the first message of today's. So here we go. The topic has been very well explained by Dr. Minki as we were initiating into these deliberations. The topic is, I've just a little bit of what I say, redesigned the topic. just to add a little more terminologies for better understanding. So we'll be talking about the artificial intelligence driven formulation designs of pharmaceutical product designs. We'll talk about innovative AI, and we'll definitely think about target discovery to regulatory approval and beyond. So this is the title in the nutshell, what we all will be talking about. This is one slide which is very close to my heart, and I'm sure that it must be close to everybody's heart who is into pharmaceutical sciences. This slide is something which tells the world about the grit and hard work which a pharmacy professional or a pharmaceutical scientist puts in. Starting from the pre-discovery arena to a journey of years together where we look into the drug discovery, then thousands of molecules we are going in for discovering that whether they are good or not. And these molecules are already archived and could be either from natural origin or could be from semi-synthetic origin and so on and so forth. Then after a lot of hard work, we filter out just a minuscule 250 molecules and which we submit to the animal studies, taking how many years? Not less than 3 to 6 years. Then we submit the investigational new drug application, that is our INDA. If it works well, gets a thumbs up, then we go into that very long, risky road of clinical trials, beginning from phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. See the number of patients, the volunteers, huge number, multi-center, and then years, not less than 6 to 7 years. The journey is a very long and a risky road. We don't know whether it will succeed or not, but we still continue with this journey. And finally, we get only one FDA approved drug. And then later on, we are not resting in peace. We are going in for the phase 4, that is post-marketing surveillance or pharmacovigilance, just to keep a microscope whether that approved drug is good for the public or not. I just want to bring to your attention as a pharmaceutical scientist and a professional and youngsters who are there, that this is exactly a journey which every year, every time, as I'm talking, this journey is going on, as we are discussing, this journey is going on. And we are putting so much of hard work to get that just one molecule. You can just witness it in this funnel shape diagram, that we start with 20,000, 30,000 candidate drugs, look into the first time screening where we are talking about the target drug viability, high throughput screening se hum usko aage leke jate hain, then we go in for lead optimization, then look into whether the absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion is okay, then submit it for clinical trials, then get approval, and then we get just one drug into the market. I just want you to think about the 12, 13 years and billions of dollars which we are putting in to get that one drug. And we don't stop here. We are making that drug into traditional systems. We are preparing tablets, beautiful capsules, multi pellets, whatever comes, maybe converting into an ointment or a syrup, just to use that one molecule as much as possible. Then over the years, we think, okay, this capsule is having some problem, it is having some limitations, some frequency of dosing is an issue. Then poor bioavailability has come, non-specificity is there, toxicity is there. We continue our journey, we convert those drug delivery systems, that is your conventional, traditional systems, into something we refer to as the control systems. We convert them into transdermal patches. We try to convert them into sprays, into anything which is inhalable. The journey doesn't stop here. We want more out of that one molecule. We have worked so hard to get that one drug approved. So we do not stop here. We continue that, can we make microsystems out of it? Can we make microparticles? Can we use it in one way or the other way? And then we continued into the arena of nanomedicines and all. So this picture is in front of you, is just telling you the efforts which a pharmaceutical scientist takes in order to convert that one approved drug molecule into something which is human specific, into something which is used for the drug delivery into the human system, into something which is going to be a life-saving product. The intention of these two slides to begin with was just to impress upon the young minds that the research which is going on, the hard work which we put up as a pharmaceutical scientist is enormous. The money which we invest is enormous. The task in itself is Herculean, humongous task. So we have to continuously keep on changing our strategies in order to get the best outcomes. Just imagine a situation that this 12 years or this 13 years was shrunk into 1 to 2 years. Just imagine a situation that we do the clinical trials, which is humongous in multi-centric countries, and the data is converged in just 2 weeks. Just imagine a situation where your drug discovery, which was taking 3 to 4 years, where high throughput screening data mining was taking 5 to 6 years, we are shrinking into 5 to 6 months. So, what will be the outcomes, my dear students? The outcome would be that we will not be having that just one molecule. We'll be having hundreds and thousands of molecules which can be used for primarily treatment of many, many diseases, which is impacting the 7 billion population of the world today. So the idea of artificial intelligence is just to help us, just to help the pharmaceutical scientist to shrink this drug pipeline, to shrink it in time, to shrink it in money, so that we are in a better position to get better products. And each product is having the highest level of safety, efficacy, and quality. That is exactly what artificial intelligence is going to do for us as pharmaceutical scientists. I think with this background in mind, we will now initiate into a little bit of more understanding. We were not this slide is again a very inspiring slide to us, that the molecule which we got after 6 to 7 years, rather 12 to 13 years, after spending billions of dollars, we are not limiting ourselves to preparing just the control release systems. We are going in for the best possible guided drug delivery, where we make a molecule into something which will just go and hit into the tumor, for example, maybe a breast cancer, or for that matter, any other tumor. In this figure or in this particular schematic diagram, what you are looking at, or this GIF, what is looking you are looking at is that we are preparing nanoparticles, and these nanoparticles are primarily put it into an injectable form, and they are reaching into the target organ, and the target organ is a solid tumor. And then we are designing a formulation in a manner that it stays there, and not only stays from inside the body, but we are putting a magnetic field from outside, so every drug particle is primarily concentrated in this tumor. We were doing it for years. We will still do it. The only difference will come is that when we will use artificial intelligence, we will be in better command of making such delivery system. So keep in mind that this artificial intelligence is just going to assist us. It is going to just help in reduction of the time. It is helping us in maybe getting more data. It is helping us to making a drug much safer, having high level of efficacy, and maybe coming with a lesser price and accepted by the regulatory bodies. So all these aspects were already there. They will continue to be there. The only thing is that artificial intelligence is now coming to us as an assistant, and it is can be used in the best possible outcomes to get the highest level of safety, efficacy, as well as your quality of the product. Just keep this in mind as we progress further. So this slide is primarily whatever I have just spoken. So the challenges in a traditional drug development were immense. The first challenge was the humongous amount of time which we had to input, 10 to 15 years, amount of money, not less than 2 to 6 million. But despite this money and time, there were a lot of hiccups which were present there. The target identification, despite our best of the effort, does have a low validation rate and less than 10% of success. Despite my lead discovery for 2 to 3 years, which I'm inputting in, there's still vast chemical space data, and the data is in silos. Silos बोलते हैं अलग एक isolation में data, integrated data नहीं है. And we were spending so many years, but still we are spending so many years, but still there's a vast chemical space. Preclinical data we have been doing for years and ages, but unfortunately, because of the specificity of an animal model and not able to harness the complete potential of that model, we have a poor translation of these preclinical studies to humans. There have been cases where the drugs were fantastic in an animal model, but as they were translated into the human system to clinical trials, they failed in phase 1 or they failed in phase 2. That means there was some gaps. We were not able to harness that data in the absolutely what we call is that the perfect direction. So that was another gap which was present there. Clinical trials primarily, as I just mentioned a bit back, they take a humongous time of 6 to 7 years. We are doing clinical trials day in and day out. But despite whatever we are doing, we will not be able to get good number of patients. If we are not able to get good number of patient volunteers, we are not able to conduct a clinical trial the way we want to do it. The data will always be deficient. So this is another failure which we have been facing. 90% failure rate in the patient recruitment has been recorded. Then finally, when we create all this thing, we prepare the new drug application, then that data has to be submitted. Can you imagine that submission of all the studies which we have done does not take less than 1 to 2 years? आपका एनिमल स्टडी हो गया, आपका क्लिनिकल ट्रायल हो गया, आपका डिस्कवरी हो गया, आपके सालों खर्च हो गए, उस डेटा का इतना ह्यूमंगस एंड एनॉर्मस डेटा होता है कि उसकी मैनुअल सबमिशन में documentation becomes so heavy, and it takes not less than 1 to 2 years. And after that, it goes into the market. By the time the innovator is already losing a lot of money which he has spent to get that patent, and the patent life is hardly 20 years, 10 to 15 years has already gone into these steps. So you are only left with 4 to 5 years by which you have to recover your cost and you have to get the market response. So the idea of this juxtaposition or this differentiation of what traditionally is happening and what we are envisaging in the future is to be simply understood that there are gaps which are present in a traditional development chain, and there are a lot of challenges which are there, which I have just enumerated. So these challenges can be very well, I would say, automated, or they can be overcome by the use of artificial intelligence. In the next few slides, we will be understanding that how these challenges are overcome. So the slide helps us understand that, okay, we have understood the problems of the traditional drug delivery or the drug development pipeline. So how can it be transformed through the AI-driven drug development? Let us try to draw a juxtaposition and a difference, or the site of points that what was happening in the traditional model and what is happening in the AI-driven model. So in case of traditional model, it is usually a linear hypothetical driven methodology, whereas in case of an AI driven model, it is iterative and data driven. अब iterative का मतलब यहाँ पर समझना बहुत जरूरी है कि हम बार बार सिस्टम से iterate करते हैं और उसको optimize करते हैं. We have got a knowledge base, we add on more knowledge. Based on this new addition of knowledge, we are changing the data direction. We are basing our next step on the data which has been created, which was absolutely not possible in the linear hypothetical driven traditional model of drug development and designing. In traditional model, we are highly dependent on wet lab target discovery. Everything has to be synthesized in the lab. Everything has to be driven by human beings. But in case of the AI driven, we can definitely depend something which we refer to as your dry lab approach. We have AI based target prediction, which we can go in for by usage of computing, by usage of pharmacoinformatics and so other tools. We can primarily have that data prediction. In case of traditional model, there is a concept of trial and error-led optimization. We will try, we fail, we try, we fail. But in case of the AI-driven, we can go in for predictive modeling and a generative designing, which will save a lot of time. In case of traditional model, we have a static clinical trial protocols. आपने protocol बनाए, फिर वो investigator लेके जाएगा, ethical committee approve करेगी, approve होने के बाद वो 10 तरह से bureaucratic ribbons के through निकलेगा, उसके बाद then it will go to the patient recruitment. So it is a static design, where in case of AI driven, it is a dynamic adaptive design where AI can be used for trial simulations. Okay, we did 4 trials, XYZ place. The data supports that we may need only 200 patients. Let's recruit them fast. So the data which we have generated from the other centers helps us to decide whether what direction this clinical trial will take. So that is the beauty of the AI-driven model. The case of traditional data, it was a siloed data. Manual curation was there. Isolation में सब data collect हो रहा है. People are entering that data into the computing device. And it is absolutely one data of one department is not connected with the data with the other department. And we are all working in silos. We are all creating islands of excellence, but we are not communicating with each other. But in case of an AI-driven model, everything is cloud-based, everything is integrated. If a chemistry department wants to know about something about the pharmacology of the drug, he will absolutely have an access to the pharmacology. A pharmacology goes back and wants the structural activity relationship. He can immediately integrate that data and find out that how the pharmacology of this drug is being impacted by the structural activity of the chemical which we are using. And just imagine this whole exercise of integration, this whole exercise is making the process much faster. It is reducing the time from 10 to 15 years to 3 to 7 years. It is having a huge reduction of the R&D cost. And what is this paradigm shifting giving us? What is the outcomes? The impact is huge. There's a faster time to market. There is an enhanced precision medicine. There's a drug repurposing which can be done at scale. Ethical and regulatory innovation can take place. Drug repurposing is something which is primarily a beautiful concept which is going to help us hugely as pharmaceutical scientists to use that one approved molecule in different directions. Let me give you an example. The drug sildenafil citrate, primarily known by the name of Viagra, it was never indicated for the anti-impotence activity. It was created for some CV indication. But while the clinical trials were on, it was found out that the volunteers who were consuming this drug were also having this side effect of priapism, or prolonged elongation of the reproductive organ. So this sign or this indication set the researchers absolutely on their toes, and they could create that this drug can also be used for the treatment of impotency. And by now, this drug is more known for this second indication rather than its first indication. Imagine that this drug repurposing can go at a very high rate if we are using the AI driven drug development, because the data comprising the data integration will be much faster. It will not happen in 2-3 years that, okay, this report comes from this center, let us talk about it, and then 2 years are gone. But now when the data will be on the cloud, their researchers can actually do the data mining of that, and primarily I would say in a jiffy of time will be able to do this drug repurposing indication. That is just one example. There are many more which we can actually drive from this type of clinical trials which are driven through the AI. As we move forward, let us just take a bit and then maybe concentrate on this slide. The AI is always, I would say, solution oriented, but there would be a lot of issues which will be present there. You must have heard very recently of the cyber hack in the company Dr. Reddy's down south in Hyderabad. So there was a cyber security issue and the data breach was there, and this may lead to pharmaceutical fraud. So the idea why I'm putting this slide in the beginning is that yes, we expect a lot of from AI, but we have to always be on our guard. We cannot heavily and completely and totally rely on the artificial intelligence. We should be using artificial intelligence intelligently. That is the key. So there can be a lot of issues which primarily the artificial intelligence can be, these challenges can be there, but we can always overcome them. There's a huge challenge of data breach, cyber security, which can lead to pharmaceutical fraud. There can be an issue in clinical trials. There's a lot of challenges which are there. As I just mentioned to you, that we can primarily use the AI to decrease the face-to-face contact. We can use the AI to create and research and maybe have an iterative and artificial intelligence-driven changes in the clinical trials. There can be a lot of issues, but primarily there will always remain a challenge that if somebody hacks it, if somebody uses that information. Then another challenge which this AI industry is facing is that we have to, I always say it this way, that the challenges will always be there. When there was COVID, before that we were going in for a chalk and board didactic mechanism of teaching. Then the pandemic forced us to use Google platforms, which we are now even using today to teach. So it is okay that yes, there are challenges. Artificial intelligence will be adopted. It will primarily need more skills. So there is a challenge and there is a demand of a skilled workforce. So we have to keep on skilling, upskilling, de-skilling so that we primarily become much more skilled. And after this, we get trained. So we can now use the artificial intelligence trainers also to train our next generation. So the idea is to understand प्रॉब्लम थे, प्रॉब्लम है, प्रॉब्लम रहेंगे। आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस अब आ गई है, थोड़ी सी प्रॉब्लम्स को जल्दी सॉल्व करेगा, और वो प्रॉब्लम जिनको हमको सालों लग जाते थे सॉल्व करने में, वो प्रॉब्लम हम थोड़े से कम समय में सॉल्व कर लेंगे. So that is the only intention. And primarily, as pharmaceutical scientists, we have to realize that however hard we try, what I want to say is that however hard we try, that artificial intelligence is the perfect thing. It can never be perfect. Our intelligence will always supersede that. And we have to make sure that based on the requirements, we will keep on training this artificial intelligence. We move further and we talk a bit more about the artificial intelligence and the pharmaceutical development. Although I have made a little bit of conversation on this point, but let us very quickly take up that what exactly the definition of AI is. The AI is basically a machine-based thing. It is a computer-based thing which can be given the human defined objectives. It can be used for making predictions, recommendations, and it will help us make decisions, and which will be influenced by the real and the virtual environment. We primarily can have machine learning subset is there, which can primarily be called as the techniques which can be used to train the AI algorithms to improve task performance based on data without explicit programming, I mean. Then the AI perceives, basically karta kya hai? It perceives real and virtual environment. It abstracts perception into models through analysis. It uses the model's inference for information or the action. In our pharmaceutical sector, let us see what it does. In the non-clinical part, because you must have seen the drug pipeline which I showed you, the first section where the drug discovery is happening, that is a non-clinical. वहां पर कोई मरीज या कोई डॉक्टर की दखल नहीं होती है, तो उसमें हमें क्या करना है? Everything is in the lab. So we have to target the target the lead product, QSR करना है, virtual screening करनी है. Then we have to design the clinical trial design. Patient selection has to be done. In the manufacturing, process controls are there, quality control, formulation, post-marketing. So all these things which primarily are there in the drug discovery pipeline can be very well encapsulated by AI applications, and it can deliver the data much faster. And very recently, in the year 2025, the US FDA has given the draft guidance which encourages the risk-based credible AI support in order to make regulatory decisions for finally delivering a drug which is of highest safety, highest efficacy, and highest quality. This is the background which we should keep in mind as we move further. This again is a very interesting slide. If you remember, 5 years, 10 years down the line, we were having a slide which was talking about nanotechnology. And we used to present a slide which will show nanotechnology in cement industry, nanotechnology in formulation, nanotechnology in dentistry, nanotechnology in medicine, in biosciences, in biotechnology, in vaccine, and so on and so forth. I was cherishing the same slide which I had made long back. In this slide, primarily, we are given the same method, but the same message rather. What exactly is the message? That artificial intelligence is not leaving anything untouched. Artificial intelligence has gone into, and can you see all my students here? Can you see that this is a neuron? Intelligence comes from the brain, and brain unit is the neuron. So diagram suggests that this neuron, which is a depiction of a human neuron, is what exactly the artificial intelligence has captured. It works like a neuron. And artificial intelligence has gone into mathematics. It has gone into geoscience. It has gone into life sciences. It has gone into medicine. It has taken care of the chemistry. It is impacting the physics. It is impacting the materials. So in a nutshell, in today's time, if I talk about artificial intelligence, nothing on earth will remain untouched. Unfortunately, I would say, because we are becoming dependent so much on the technology, but artificial intelligence will be everywhere in the next few years, and there is no choices, but for all the students, you have to upskill with the techniques of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence in medicine, it will talk about it will take care of the biomarker discovery. It will take care of the AI doctor-based electronic record keeping. And of course, as we discussed a bit back, it will have a humongous impact on the drug discovery, that is pharmaceutical sciences. So, what all primarily things will be impacted? Let us just recapitulate that. It will primarily be resulting in accelerated development of preclinical studies, and the timeline will be reduced by 25 to 50%. It will lead to a higher success rate, and AI discovered molecules will show 80 to 90% success in phase one trials because it is taking care of every damn mechanism by which it will work, and the data is highly dependent. It will lead to faster submissions. So after the database locking, after creating all the data, the years of 1 or 2.5 years which we were taking in just documentation, that will be historically reduced by 50 to 65%. And it will bring a revolution in structural biology, where tools like AlphaFold, they are giving and they are predicting that they can unlock 200 million more protein structures, which can be used by 200 million researchers all over the 190 plus countries. So that is the type of impact which is this artificial intelligence is going to make. You will have more than 30% new drug discovery via the artificial intelligence, which has happened in the year 2025. 60 million primarily the net present value gain is there in this current year, and 40% success is there in the phase 2 success rate has increased because of the AI discovered molecule. So it is here to stay. We have to accept it and we have to train ourselves in that. Artificial intelligence primarily is usually studied under three heads. The first artificial intelligence is I'm talking about from outside to inside. The artificial intelligence is an umbrella term where we capture the ability of a computer to mimic intelligent human behavior. We go to the machine learning. The machine learning is actually nothing but learning from the data without being explicitly programmed. And then we go into the deep learning, which is using of the artificial neural networks to learn from data. So actually the machine learns from the data. We keep on data accumulation. The data, if I, for example, I give you a classical example here. In today's time, there is a huge revolution which is happening in the field of radio diagnosis or radiology to precisely say. People come with a lot of, this pollution is there, and people come with a lot of lung issues. They're having breathlessness, they're having breathing problem. So what artificial intelligence is helping us out. Imagine the next few seconds what I'm talking. A patient walks into a emergency ward. He's having breathlessness. The clinical symptom says that the compromise of the lungs is happening. The problem can be in the lungs. It could be pneumonia. It could be COVID. It could be XYZ, whatever. The doctor immediately refers the patient to the X-ray. The X-ray is done. The X-ray is primarily now compared. Now listen to the next statement. There are already thousands and millions and 10,000 scans in the computer of the patients who have come with the similar conditions over the last 5 years, over the COVID time. And the X-ray of this patient comes, and this X-ray is then compared absolutely with all the 10,000 X-rays which primarily are present in the machine or in the computers. So they immediately match it with one of the X-rays which has got an absolutely similar picture. It supersedes, and within 2 minutes the doctor diagnoses that there is a ground glass image in the lungs. So the person may be suffering from COVID. Otherwise, imagine the radiologist will take an X-ray, then primarily that X-ray will go to the desk of the doctor will write a report, the patient will come the second day. After the collecting the report, he will go to the treating doctor, he will see the report, he will match it, see it in his clinic, look into it 100 times, and then talk to his juniors and seniors, and then diagnoses that it is containing of this ground glass image. He may be suffering from COVID. Imagine this happening in 2 minutes. Imagine this happening in 2.5 minutes. And the patient immediately is rushed to the hospital ICU if required, that this is he's suffering from COVID and he's suffering from an acute situation. And the person is rescued within 1.5 days or 1.5 minutes to say the least. So that is actually the use, how the artificial intelligence can be used and how it can be, how its potential can be harnessed. I hope we are making things clear. So let us now extrapolate this artificial intelligence, from now on I'll be talking about that how artificial intelligence is being used in pharmaceutical industry, what are the areas where it can be used, and how far we can go in using these technologies. Let us start from the beginning. As we have just mentioned, the first stage is in our drug discovery development is basic research, where we take care of the validation and identification, we take care of synthesis and optimization, and we have certain in vitro in vivo models. So it takes all these stages. The artificial intelligence have now been recruited. It will help us in identification. It will help in prediction of the target role. It will have in prediction of signaling system. It will go in for the prediction of the ADMET. It will result in the prediction of the synthetic routes. Similarly, in stage 2, where we are having preclinical data, which used to take 6 to 8 years, after this journey of this together, it is coming to 6 to 8 years. So we used to do acute toxicity, chronic toxicity, and then maybe genotoxicity, then maybe going for the fetal toxicity. So all this toxicity can, some of this will be done. Some data will be available to us. Based on that, we can go in for the prediction of the toxicity. Then we move on to the clinical trial, that is stage 3, beginning from phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. We can think about drug repurposing, selection of patient population, adherence control, everything which can be controlled by artificial intelligence tools. So we are coming to the next phase, that is the regulatory phase, and then we are coming to the last phase. So this primarily what this slide is again re-emphasizing, that we start as a journey from 0 years up to 6 years. We are stuck in the basic research. 6 to 8 years का टाइम हो जाता है जब हम क्लिनिकल प्री डेटा करते हैं. स्टेज 3 में 10.5 साल के करीब टाइम लग जाता है. उसके बाद 14 साल से लेके 15 साल तक रेगुलेटरी अफेयर्स 1-1.5 साल उसमें लगता है. तो पूरी जो जर्नी है हमारी 10-15 साल की हो जाती है. एंड आफ्टर दैट वी हैव द फेज 4, दैट इज पोस्ट मार्केट सर्वेलेंस एंड फार्माकोविजिलेंस. सो दिस टाइमलाइन इज सो ह्यूज. If I use the artificial intelligence at all these stages which I have just mentioned, so maybe this timeline can be squeezed to just 3 to 4 years and maybe less than that, and we can primarily be able to get more than one approved drug. We may get hundreds and thousands of approved drugs in a short duration of time, and then helping the humankind much more. So in order to help us, so artificial intelligence, this picture beautifully depicts the synergy of a human hand and artificial hand. We are working together. We are having the blessings of the human intelligence and then corroborating it with the artificial intelligence and helping us to coordinate better. So in order to make this a reality, the US FDA, the CDER Council, they have established the rules and regulations, and the CDER AI Council has been established as early as 2024, which coordinates with all the internal AI capabilities, policy initiatives, so that there is a consistent evaluation of AI in drug development. This is a quote which I would like to read out for all of you. AI will undoubtedly play a critical role in the drug development life cycle. CDER is an organization under the US FDA, Central Drug and Research, which plans to continue developing and adopting a risk-based regulatory framework that promotes innovation and protects patient safety. The key remains the same. When we were working humanly, we still delivered drugs which were safe, efficacious, of high quality. When we are taking over artificial intelligence, they should be more safe and they should be much higher quality and they should be much efficacious. So we are going to work in harmony in order to develop the best possible pharmaceutical products. So here we have the slide which primarily just similarly helps us to understand that where are the things or which are the parts which the AI will take up. We will in the discovery part, we'll have the AI touch points in the de novo design, virtual screening. In the preclinical studies, the AI will be helping us in synthesis, lead optimization. In clinical trials, it will help us in patient stratification, helping us in iterative adaptive trial design, endpoint prediction. In manufacturing, where I will have a large-scale manufacturing of the product, it will help in process optimization, vision-based quality control, predictive maintenance, and definitely in the regulatory aspect, It will help me by generative AI writing. It will result in what we call as structured submissions. It will give me health assessment and questionnaire acceleration, and it will develop a product in much shorter time. So if I use the AI, I will reduce the time from 25 to 50%. My success rate at every stage will be higher. The return of investment will be much higher, as high as $180 million per net present value. Whatever I am doing today, I will get a $180 million increment in that thing if I primarily use the AI for the same purpose. These are some of the graphical figures which is helping us understand that how these things have been adopted. There have been the uses of AI in academia, in industry, in biotechs, in pharmaceutical biotech companies, and they are now being substantially used in the biotech industry. You can see 75% of AI is being used in the biotech companies. In normal pharmaceutical industries, around 27% things in the company are now adopting AI. In case of academia, we are still at 13%. In case of generic industries, we are having around 21%. So primarily, we are forging into an era where every aspect or every industry is cozying up to the artificial intelligence and trying to use it in one way or the other. From now onwards, from the next few slides, we'll just talk about that what are the areas and how it is to be, how the artificial intelligence is being used. In case of drug discovery, this is the most Herculean task for human beings, that we have to actually work on thousands and thousands of molecules and find out how many of them are knocked out. And then from that knocked out molecule, how many will be submitted to the preclinical and so on and so forth. So this is one typical example where this TNIK or TNIK discovery has happened, where artificial intelligence platform known as Panda Omics, they identified a very peculiar TRAF2 and NCK interacting kinase protein enzyme, which is a target for the idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. And this is a disease which was previously, this mechanism was previously unexplored in this disease. Idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis is a rare disease. It does not have many drugs which are available. And it is an area where a lot of research is being going, unfortunately, with no success. So they took this disease as a challenge and they used an AI platform by the name of Panda Omics, which resulted by predictions and by other combinations. They found out that there is a unique pathway which is taken up by TRAF2 and NCK interacting kinase enzyme, which is used to treat this disease. To say the least, this was never discovered earlier. This is for the first time which it was discovered. A lot of research is going on. And then this target was actually validated. And this drug, which is called as rentosertib now, is primarily, it came to the preclinical data phase in less than 30 minutes. That is exactly what I was mentioning before, that something which used to happen in 4 or 5 years is just happening in less than 30 months. And it is giving us a new drug for a very challenging disease like IPF. So this is one success story which I would want to tell you here. Then primarily after this, what is the other area? Now, how it is happening, let us go into little deep understanding of how artificial intelligence will be helping in the different aspects of pharmaceutical product development. The first contribution of the AI is, we have just mentioned that it will help us to maybe find out a new target and we are getting a new molecule. Later on, it can be very well used. For example, if I showed you in the first few slides that we have to move from the traditional drug delivery system to the advanced systems like the nano drug delivery. And these AI is helping us to develop a enhanced nano system. You are having a routine therapy. Patients primarily are not getting the right outcome. Then there is a demand from the patient that there should be targeted drug delivery. So we propose nano systems. These nano systems are helped by the AI boost AI boost designing, and we are able to deliver nano systems which are having enhanced drug delivery. So I showed you that guided drug delivery animation where we can create a nano system system which can be taken into the blood and finally only concentrated in the solid tumor. And that can be very well done by using the artificial intelligence tool and how it can guide it to the target tissue or the target organ. Then this primarily when we are making nanosystem, which is delivered in a manner which is befitting for that particular drug discovery. So what we can primarily also foresee is that this artificial intelligence can also help us in selecting the best type of carrier system. So how it will interact with the membrane. So we can use bioinformatics, we can use different formulation designs, we can use artificial intelligence database, that if, for example, if my nanoparticle is circle shaped, will it be able to enter into a tissue which is having this type of structures? What will be the interaction, whether it will fuse with my organelles, how it will deliver, and so on and so forth. We can actually decide about the better permeation interaction of the selected drug. We can actually generate a lot of parameters, how the drug repurposing can happen, it is how it is impacting on the other organs. We can have a lot of data where we can have a better understanding of the animal models. We primarily can even use the artificial intelligence to help us understand that how a single drug molecule or the drug carrier is interacting with human cells and the targets. So just imagine if this all information comes to us, will we not able to make a better drug delivery system? अगर हमको पता है कि निशाना कहाँ लगना है, कहाँ पर drug targeting होनी है, the Paul's Ehrlich's dream of real drug targeting, we can now actually sort of relive this dream by simply using the artificial intelligence. That is exactly how this whole system is going to be empowered by artificial intelligence. कहने की बात यह है कि ऐसा नहीं है कि हम नैनो सिस्टम पहले नहीं बना रहे थे जब हमने आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस यूज नहीं किया. थोड़ा बहुत कंप्यूटिंग हम क्वालिटी बाय डिजाइन में यूज करते ही हैं, लेकिन अभी अगर हमको सारा डेटा मिल जाए कि ये फॉर्मुलेशन है, ये फॉर्मुलेशन अगर आप सेल लाइंस में जाओगे तो सेल लाइंस के साथ इस तरह से इंटरैक्ट करेगा, इसका शेप अगर आप बदल दोगे, पार्टिकल साइज बदल दोगे, इट विल गिव यू बेटर आउटकम. तो विदाउट डूइंग द एक्चुअल एक्सपेरिमेंट वी आर गेटिंग दिस इंफॉर्मेशन एंड वी कैन एक्चुअली डायरेक्टली फॉर्मुलेट द फॉर्मुलेशन विद ऑल द पैरामीटर्स which are desirable. So I think we can very simply imagine and understand that by getting this type of information, we will cut down our lab work and we will move faster into the direction of creating a better product or better pharmaceutical product. This again is helping us to understand that how the AI is being used over since 2023, just 2 years back, and how many it is being used in creating of new molecules for difficult or poorly understood. So you can just see that the time has decreased from 40% to 30% in areas primarily from molecule from existing chemical series for well understood target. It is still competing with human intelligence. And in the case of repurposing, you can see that there is an enhancement from 40% to 50% of the knowledge in just 2 years from 23 to 25. So artificial intelligence data mining is actually helping us out to reduce the time for every type of invention and innovation and bringing it to the light or allowing it to see the light of the day. Then the next area is that where we can use AI in molecular design. This is called as your generative AI. We can primarily look into this equivariant GNNs or generative neural networks, which primarily is giving us molecules which have got a stability of as high as 98.5%. We have got models like 2D and 3D models, which we can primarily have better connectivity and spatial information. And by spatial information, better connectivity, we can actually go in for conditional generation, enabling of proper targeted design where we can explicitly control the solubility, potency, and selectivity. By simply knowing that how this molecule is primarily going to be used and how it will behave, what will be the way the crystal structure is going to interact, how the solubility will be enhanced with different types of solvent. If we get a pre-decided information on it, I think the real lab conditions will help us to find out the results in much lesser time. So these are some of the companies which are primarily dedicating a lot of time into R&D. A lot of companies are there like BioGPT and Peptidologics. They are mostly focusing on the R&D and drug discovery part. Some of the companies, although not much common, they are using AI for marketing and sales also. They you can every time when you go out shopping on the website, you may get the experience of chatbots. So now they are creating chatbots for patient where the patient can actually log in and he can say about his medicines that I am so and so, I am taking 3-4 medicines for diabetes, I am suffering from diarrhea. What do you suggest? What medicine should I take now along with my anti-diabetic medicines? Immediately a robotic chatbot will answer. Then you are having these chatbots are not only for the patients but also for the healthcare professionals, and they help this together synthesize and analyze the medical information. And usually there is now a new trend with the pharmaceutical companies are working in partnerships. A common one of the most I would say favorable partnership which has started is between Benevolent AI, which is an AI based company, along with AstraZeneca, which is one of the biggest player in pharmaceutical sector. Then this is a slide which is helping us to, I was just mentioning you this drug Rentosertib, which is this TNIK. I was talking about this idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. This whole story has been unraveled now. Imagine that this whole trial, if it would have been done on a normal case way, it would have taken 12 to 13 years to get this drug. In this case, they have been able to do the clinical trials on 71 patients in less than 12 weeks, and they were able to find out the outcomes in and detailing in a few months' time. And now, less than 30 months they have taken in order to deliver the drug right from the de novo target discovery to the completion of the first trials or the phase 1 trials. And the key innovation is this drug is first in its class and it has never been explored. I have just mentioned in a bit back, it is for the first time that this type of investigation was happened. And this Professor Matthew Higgins, who is actually the caretaker and who is the coordinator of this whole trial, he said that what used to take months and years to do, AI was able to accomplish just in a weekend. The AI-driven discovery of Rentosertib represents a paradigm shift in how we approach drug development for complex diseases like IPF. So this is something which is very heartening and which is very encouraging for the researchers of today's time. This is again another tool, AlphaFold, which is called as an AlphaFold revolution. You can just appreciate that these are the protein structures, and ultimately it is a protein which is the sort of I would say the symbol of disease or the clinical symptom. Everything. One of the professors the other day was telling us in a lecture that honestly speaking, if I say what is disease, disease is nothing but an expression of a protein. So if that protein is expressed in the blood, I know that this person is suffering from this disease. So I want a drug which will do something to interact with this protein and reduce the symptoms of that disease. So imagine that there is already a software, an AlphaFold tool is there, which is having the 3 prediction of this protein, how this primarily protein will convolute, how it will interact. And this is happening in case of, and where is it used? It is used for disease research. It is helping in drug development. It is, for example, this is used for plastic eating enzymes, evolutionary biology, structural understanding. So this tool primarily is something which is revolutionizing the artificial intelligence thing in the pharmaceutical arena. Then AI in clinical trials, I have already mentioned that this is going to help us in a reduction of the time. The patient selection and stratification becomes much easier. Trial operations at different sites doesn't take that type of time. You can forecast how many arms of these clinical trials are required. Then we can have advanced analytics. We can primarily have digital biomarkers from wearables. You must have seen already that there's a lot of continuous glucose monitoring patches which are available. That is all artificial intelligence driven protocols. So you are having a clinical trial for diabetes patients. The person will be given the CGM. He will keep it on the skin, and it will continuously primarily collect the data will be connected to the doctor's desk, and he will be able to find that how this new drug is impacting the diabetes or the blood glucose level. And continuously they are redesigning and designing. So it has actually led to 30% faster enrollment, and it is of the patients, and it has increased 2 times, and it is the highest statistical power with biomarker stratification. So that is exactly how the clinical trials are impacted. Students who are interested in clinical research and want to go in for maybe an MSc or MS in clinical research have to learn this AI, that how it can be used for enhancing the experience of clinical trials. Then this whole scenario of AI in PKPD studies have been unraveled. We know that when we talk about a drug, it will anything which impacts the body is pharmacodynamics, and everything what the body does to the drug is pharmacokinetics. So we expose the person to a particular drug, the body will result in certain changes. So that data is humongous, and then that data primarily जब आप उसको नई नई ड्रग है उसका पीकेपीडी देखते हो तो कभी ना कभी ऐसा हो सकता है कि कुछ डेटा आपसे स्किप हो जाए. You are not able to actually assimilate that data because that data is so humongous. But artificial intelligence algorithmic driven programs will reduce this mistake. They will not leave a single data hither thither. They will accumulate and assimilate all the data, and this data will result. Sometimes maybe giving such data will help in reduction of the animal testing. They don't want that there is animal testing required. You already have data from previous studies. You don't have to go in for the fresh animal studies. It will result in concentrating the data in a manner that the information becomes much pivotal and much useful for the future generations. So that is the beauty of the AI, and it is beautifully used in harnessing the data from the pharmacokinetics and the pharmacodynamics. Then it is, as I was saying in the beginning, that there will be not a single area which will be unrelated to AI. Coming to the GMP, coming to the formulation, construction, coming to the production, there will be no area which will be remaining untouched without AI. It will result in real-time process monitoring. We are क्या बना करते थे, टैबलेट बना रहे हैं, बनाने के वक्त तो कोई चीज हम देख नहीं सकते थे, जब बन जाती है टैबलेट फिर देखते हैं अरे भाई इसकी फ्राइबिलिटी खराब है, इसका डिसइंटीग्रेशन टाइम खराब है. लेकिन now when you are using AI, we can go in for the real-time process monitoring. We have optimization which will enhance the production efficiency of tablets. We can have a vision-based quality control. We can see and we can inspect the computer vision systems can inspect the blister packs. आपका एक एक बंदा देख रहा है कि अच्छा ये strip ठीक है कि नहीं है, taking hours and hours. Now you will have a scanner machine. Immediately the strips will be passed through that scanner machine. If the strip is empty, it will be discarded. If the strip is discolored, it will be discarded. Everything monitored by the computer visions. Then there can be a predictive maintenance. Imagine you are working in a laboratory. Today, in the morning, the dissolution apparatus was fine. In the afternoon, it has stopped working. But if we had a programmed type of arrangement in the computer attachment with the dissolution apparatus, it will result in predictive maintenance. 3 हफ्ते पहले वो आपको बता देता कि भाई इसका मशीनरी में गड़बड़ होने वाली है, आप इसको ठीक करा ले. It requires greasing, it requires rechanging of the filters. It would have been so easy. So now we have got huge machines in industry. If they break down, the production will really harm the economics. So what they have adopted, there is an artificial intelligence driven predictive maintenance based on machine learning. Beforehand, 6 months before or 3 weeks before or 3 days before, there will be an alert that the machine is undergoing some problem, so kindly repair it. Just imagine how much of hard work will be saved and how much of economy will be saved. This whole adoption has resulted in production line efficiency to a tune of 98%, quality control accuracy to the tune of 99.9%, and reduction of 73% in unplanned downtime. So that is the beauty of artificial intelligence when it is adopted for manufacturing and quality control. In regulatory affairs, yes, we will use it. We will reduce the time of documentation from years to 8 to 12 weeks. We will primarily just see this figure here. You have after the data is completed, it is logged. It is called as database log. The content generation can be done by using the generative AI writing. You can go in for the review process will be done by the quality checks, which is driven by AI, and the automated publication and submission can happen in the fastest time. So anything, एक file को देखना, एक file को approve करना, एक file को review करना, everything is a past. Everything everything is now historical. You will do all these things within a matter of a few weeks, and this documentation of regulatory affairs becomes much easier. Another area where the AI will play a very important role is the personalized medication. It is a ball game where primarily you are using the information of everything. You are talking about the genomics, you are talking about the adaptive treatment, you are having a multi-omic integration, you are talking about so many things. So there will be, you can just simply say that there will be a huge amount of patient data available. AI will do an analysis. Based on the analysis of the patient data which is available, the person's medication will be personalized, and there will be a real time adaptation. So you are, otherwise it would be impossible for a doctor to give a personalized medicine. The persons, for example, the diabetics can be either fat, or they are fat and obese, and they are thin. The pancreas, in some cases the pancreas is not producing insulin at all. In some cases it produces less. In some persons are suffering comorbidities like kidney. Some people are suffering problems in liver. So the same anti-diabetic medicine should not be given to both the categories. So which patient will get what type of medication is referred to as your personalized medicine, and who can help us? Unfortunately, doctors do not have that time to study in detail what is the requirement of a patient. And but this artificial intelligence driven program can help the professionals like doctors to integrate the pharmacogenomics. They can get what treatment can be adapted for this patient, what types of metabolomics is happening in his body, and based on uska bilkul jo uske liye bilkul fit hoga, wo type of medicine will be given to this patient. Then I will just take you through just some of the technologies which are present there. There's a lot of key technologies. So the key technologies, usually what is the aim? They just have a amalgamation. They are basically complementary approaches. So whatever is happening manually, they just integrate and complement and help it. In some technologies, they're end to end. Everything is artificial intelligence driven right from the beginning to the end. And sometimes they are having platform integration. So the leading companies, they can have different platforms and they can just maybe combine. So you have in silico panda omics, chemistry 42, FBs are, they can all be used as a platform for integrating the information. Huge impact on industry is being seen. Mostly by 2025, approximately 30% of the new drug will be developed by AI. AI-driven preclinical study time is reduced by 25 to 30%. The budget is coming down from the return of investment is much higher, and the time is coming to as less as possible. So no industry will be there which will be not impacted by the artificial intelligence. These are some of the figures, because in 1.5 years old data, but you can just appreciate that the topmost players in the pharmaceutical industry, they are actually now adopting AI with a huge readiness. And the leader in this group is Roche. About 77% of their things which is happening in Roche company are being driven by the AI, followed by Bayer, followed by Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, and FV. And unfortunately, Indian companies have still to warm up. They're still not as sort of ready as compared to the major industry players like seen in this figure. So these are some of the leading companies which are doing wonders. So these names should be like known to us. There are companies like AbbVie, which has got this Arch platform, which is usually having AI-driven data convergence hub for more than 200 plus internal external sources. Then they are usually working on antibodies and finding the desired attributes. There's another company, in silico medicine, which has delivered this drug Rentocerti, which we had talked back about. They have got programs like Pendaomics and Chemistry 42, which helps in target discovery. Then there is a company by the name of DeepMind, which is generated this AlphaFold and AlphaFold 3, basically in proteins. Then the company Recursion, they are working on the multiple clinical candidates for rare diseases. Another company by the name of Atomwise, they are working on the deep convolutional neural networks and AI molecular screen programming. Then this is another company which has also joined hand with AstraZeneca by the name of Benevolent AI. They are the ones who are working on the knowledge graph. They usually were the first one to make this drug baricitinib. This baricitinib was used for COVID-19, and that was based on the data and all the integration which was done by this company, Benevolent AI. So these are some of the players. The students should be knowing about them. These are the places where your placement will happen. You have to top up your B.Pharm degrees or M.Pharm degrees with some courses on the AI so that you are able to deliver yourself as good candidates. So this is something which you need to learn about. These are some of the areas. That's again the market search that from 2025 to 2030, just in a few hours, there is a huge surge from 2.6 to 12.8 billion dollars, and all the industries are being touched. All the areas in the industry are being touched, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is marketing and sales. Let us talk about healthcare and pharma. In the human resources, 15% is impacted by artificial intelligence. Manufacturing, we are adopting up to 7%. Marketing, just 2%. Product service development, 4%. And risk is around 22%. Risk assessment, we are using it for 22%. So these are some of the figures which should keep us driving, that we have to keep on developing all the things in the right manner, and we have to update, we have to upskill ourselves. Having said everything good about AI, there will always be a flip side. There will always be certain challenges. I would not say disadvantages. There are certain challenges. So we have to overcome. There will be a lot of issues with the data sharing. The fair data principles has to be there. We have to implement the findable, accessible, interoperable, reusable data practices. Then what happens usually when we talk about the data which is driven from artificial intelligence, that data is usually not highly explained. A human, for example, if a researcher does something, so the doctor will speak out that we gave this drug to the patient showed these types of symptoms, and after some time we saw that there was palpitation in his heart. Palpitation could be because of this drug's side effect, and so on and so forth. So the lot of explanations are given when a human works. You can talk about it, you can speak about, you can interconnect about it. Artificial intelligence driven programs only have a limited knowledge, so they are usually not able to explain. So we have to ensure that artificial intelligence approaches are explainable. Then the regulatory engagement has to be there. There is a continuous changes in rules and regulations. So regulatory evolution is there. So artificial intelligence programs have to be continuously updated. Then cross-functional implementation has to be done. So one department, chemistry, is taking AI, the pharmacology AI, then this integration will never happen. So if chemistry is being done through AI, then you have to go in for updation of AI in pharmacology and pharmaceutical areas as well. So that integration has to be there. The models has to be interpretable. There is a lot of risks. For example, data privacy will be a problem. Ethical implications will be there. Scalability and integration with existing pharma workflows will be there. अब एक कंपनी खानदानी चली आ रही है 100 साल से, अचानक से आपने बोला कि भाई कल से आपकी जो टैबलेट डिसइंटीग्रेशन है वो हाथ से नहीं देखी जाएगी, कंप्यूटर से देखी जाएगी. It becomes very difficult to adjust. So these are some of the challenges which one has to take up. But then yes, we can overcome. Whether it is a drug discovery, clinical trial, or data availability, regulatory compliance, we can definitely create prototypes, and these prototypes will be having faster. For in case of drug discovery, it will lead to faster identification. In case of clinical trial, it will result in streamlined patient recruitment. In case of data availability, AI can leverage existing public data sets. In regulatory compliance, potential for new regulatory frameworks tailored to AI-driven drug development can always be adopted. So there will be a continuous opportunities and challenges which are there. आपदा में अवसर है. We have to take care of everything, whether it is talent and expertise. Definitely we have to produce students who will primarily be already knowing artificial intelligence and their expertise. So there is always a growing demand. In manufacturing, there will be automation. So we have to actually understand these beforehand. Partnership can result in a lot of collaborations, and maybe the biopharma industries can collaborate with AI firms. Personalized medicine is another opportunity where AI enables personalized treatment for genetic, phenotypic, and environmental data-based things. Then predictive maintenance is again one area which can be of much help. The future is bright. We have to think beyond 25. There will be advanced AI systems. Protein engineering revolution is already on the scale. Real world evidence integration is there. Clinical trials can be decentralized. We can have real world data which will give real time feedback, and we can tailor our clinical trials to get the better outcomes. Digital twin technology is there. We have to take up the intelligent manufacturing and so on and so forth. Right from 25 to in the next 5 years, there is going to be a huge amount of changes which will be happening in the area of artificial intelligence. We can have different, just to give a names of few of the tools which can be used. We have got supervised and unsupervised tools. One uses the labeled data, the other uses the unlabeled data. And each of these tools, it could be your SVM and KNM, they are dedicated tools for some of the things. It will be difficult for me to talk about everything, but then the idea is that if I am going to go in for, let us say, compound classification, toxicity prediction, pharmacokinetic modeling, so we can definitely rely on the KNN. Then this random forest is a tool which can help me in drug discovery and design, or data mining in pharmacovigilance, and so on and so forth. Then the black box effect I just mentioned a bit back is one of the biggest problem, that the artificial will remain artificial, however intelligent it becomes. So this is one problem which will always be there. There will always be, this is called as your black box effect in the AI driven thing. We feed the data, there will be learning stage, the machine will learn, but when the output comes, it is usually unexplainable, unjustifiable, unaccountable. So this becomes a little difficult. So we are not able to give reason कि ये हुआ तो लेकिन क्यों हुआ. एक डॉक्टर अगर कोई क्लिनिकल ट्रायल कंडक्ट करेगा तो वो बताएगा ये हुआ है तो इसलिए हुआ है. एक आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस ड्रिवन प्रोग्राम होगा तो वो सारी क्वेश्चंस ब्लैक बॉक्स में जाके रुक जाते हैं. दे आर नॉट एबल टू आंसर ऑल द क्वेश्चंस. सो दिस इज अ लिमिटेशन, बट आई एम श्योर इन अदर 5-10 years this will also be overcome. Some of the pictures which will help us understand that how beautifully artificial intelligence is being captured in the pharma sector. They are used in for analysis in multi-layered data. They are using artificial intelligence tools for critical attributes and quality attributes. Everything is now used. Computers are being used for assessing the process parameters. It is being very well used for prediction of the results and the medical data, how the data can be mined. And it is highly useful in the automated system of AI, which is used for search, simulation, and refinement of the process. These are some of the areas where the pharmaceutical industries are using it even today when I am talking to you. This is another example which beautifully capturing this thing, that when we were making conventional tablets, for example, we will talk about the drug loading, drug release, then the tablet geometry. It is fixed, we cannot change it. Then we do the analysis by UV, and then it is cost ineffective. This is the traditional way of analyzing of a tablet. But if I am taking care of the, if I combine it with artificial intelligence and use so many other tools while the preparation, by using this process analytical technologies and using the techniques like XRCT and the other things for finding out the cracks. So everything can be reduced in timelines. I can be in a position to talk about a defective tablet just by the analysis of the surface crack analysis, which is done by XRCT in combination with AI. Otherwise, पहले tablet बन जाएगी, बनने के बाद वो जब आएगी हमारे हाथ में, फिर हम उसको QC के लिए भेजेंगे, फिर देखेंगे अरे भाई इसका तो डिसइंटीग्रेशन खराब है. लेकिन अगर बनते ही वक्त हमें पता चल जाए कि जो उसका सरफेस है उसके अंदर क्रैक है, हमने XRCT टेक्निक से देख लिया और आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस ड्रिवन प्रोग्राम से हमें पता चल गया भाई ये टैबलेट थोड़ा सा सरफेस पे क्रैक है जो नेकेड आंख को नहीं दिख रहे हैं, it will result in problems of disintegration and final dissolution. Kindly stop the process or redo it. So you can imagine that how fast this process can happen, and you will not be losing your economy unnecessarily. Another area where heavily we can use it in protein, you can develop the customized biologics, we can predict the harmful sequences, we can predict the peptide affinity, binding affinity, we can help in the structural activity relationship, toxicological database creation, we can predict the protein folding and stable customized proteins. So, kul mila ke what we can say is that we can actually harness the potential of AI in developing the best possible types of protein-based drug delivery systems. The key takeaways from the presentations are as such. The first thing which we should keep in mind is that why we are adopting AI. We are actually adopting AI to save time, and time is money. So we are able to compress the timelines by as much as 25 to 50% in the total drug discovery pipeline. We are using generative structural AI reshaped discovery. We can use programs like AlphaFold diffusion models, which are able to make us help understand and access, make the data accessible for chemical and biological spaces. Workflow automation can be there. From clinical trials to regulatory submission, the automated workflow is there. Then we can have AI-driven drug discovery using generative models, AlphaFold revolution, and the strong foundations of quality data, credible models, and governance can also be made. So we can actually have high quality data generation, credible models can be adopted, regulatory compliance becomes much easier, and then organizational change leadership are essential enablers. Until unless we are ready to adopt it, nobody can help us. So we have to have this type of leadership in our communities and organizations, that they are now open to the usage of artificial intelligence. These were the references which I had heavily relied on in making this presentation. This presentation was actually challenging and a learning experience for me as well, because as a pharmaceutical scientist, we have still to learn a lot, that what are the areas where we should be avoiding. This is my profile. I had been absolutely blessed to be associated with Jamia Hamdard and have progressed and contributed hugely in research areas, particularly the nano-appendage systems, primarily for anti-cancer. Any researcher, any student who would like to connect with me, you can always write a mail to me. My number, my contact number and mail ID is reflected here. Where do I come from? I come from School of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Department of Pharmaceutics, and from a university named as Jamia Hamdard in New Delhi, where primarily we have been the greatest contributors to this science of pharmacy as per se, and I have rank 1 school for the last 5 years, and we have got more than 11 schools, and we are a campus which is very, very proud of its diversity and its female empowerment. So we have got a very favorable female to male ratio, and we have been ranking 1 in NIRF for the last 5 years. Thank you so much for your unimaginative patience. I think it is one of the biggest challenge for the audience to be sticking onto the screen and then listening to a speaker without seeing the face and without interacting and asking questions. Thank you so much for this great opportunity. I'm open to questions if any.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your insightful and thought-provoking session. Ma'am, there are few questions from the audience side.
Sure, I'm very happy to take them.
Since AI models are known to generate incorrect outputs, how
Yes.
reliable do you think AI is in drug development?
Okay, that's a very nice question. This is primarily I was emphasizing again and again. Let me just stop sharing it so that we can get away from it. Just give me a minute.
Yes.
Excellent question. Excellent question. That they're now saying that this data reliability, the more the data we are working on, the more reliable and accurate they would be. This is exactly what we call as your machine learning. For example, if I am having a cohort of around 10 studies, I'm comparing one X-ray with 10 X-rays, then primarily the chances of accuracy are very less. But when I'm comparing one X-ray with 10,000 X-rays, the chances of accuracy becomes much, much higher. So the more the data we input into train our machines, the more accurate they will become. So because in case of protein drug delivery, the type of data which is being generated is huge. So the accuracy and predictability has become very, very dependable. I hope I have gratified the query. If not, I would like to have another question on the same lines, if the clarity is not there.
There is one more question. How much we can rely on AI for health improvement?
Okay. Again, this is again a very ticklish situation. For example, if I may understand the question well, the health improvement can be done by simply using the AI-driven techniques. Let me give you an example. If by any chance, I'm sorry. For example, if a person is diabetic and he is obese, and one of the reasons for the diabetes is that he or she is not able to take the right amount at the right time. That means he's not eating well. So this AI driven, maybe a watch or maybe a sticker can actually alert that this is time for your eating. And nowadays the level has become so advanced that what food you eat will primarily be connected with the glucose level. So you have got a CGM or the continued glucose monitoring device attached to your hand. You take a food. After half an hour, you will get a picture on your watch or on your laptop or on your iPad that you have taken this diet. You should not have taken it. It is increased in this much of insulin flow, and primarily there is a glucose spike. This data will immediately go to your doctor, and primarily the doctor will create a program for you that kindly do not take this food. So I would say, personally speaking, it is highly dependent. Artificial intelligence is really going to help us in improving our health if used properly.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your lecture has given us a deeper understanding of how AI is transforming the future of medicine and opening new horizons for the research and innovation. We are grateful for the clarity, depth, and experience you shared with us today. Now, I would like to call Dr. Devkan Sharma to deliver a vote of thanks to our esteemed speaker and participants of the today's webinar. Sir, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible to you?
You very
Yes.
much, sir.
Good afternoon to everyone. I, Dr. Devkan Sharma, on behalf of our principal, sir, Dr. Anurag Bhargavji, and management of Chaudhary Devilal College of Pharmacy, I extend my gratitude to Professor Dr. Jinat Iqbal for delivering such an insightful and inspiring session on AI-driven pharmaceutical product development. Ma'am, your experience, clarity, and forward-thinking approach have truly broadened our perspective, and we are grateful for the time and effort you dedicated to making this event very valuable. I would also extend my thanks to the organizing committee and all the participants for their support and active involvement in the webinar. Once again, thank you everyone, and especially to you, ma'am, for your gracious presence. We look forward to future academic interaction with you, and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Devkant. It was a pleasure being here. And I don't know how much justice I have been able to do to the topic. And the area which we are working currently, I think for students as teachers, we should be always motivating them, because we have to reinvent, and the students have to really top up their degrees now. A plain B Pharm course is not going to help any one of us. So we should motivate our students to take up some small courses on artificial intelligence, and they should be in a position to decide their career maybe in the third year itself, or maybe ahead of that. If they want to go to pharmacovigilance for that matter, they should be taking some small certification AI course, which will help them to become a better pharmacovigilance scientist. Similarly, if they're interested in R&D, research and development, they should go in for that, how artificial intelligence can be used in the drug discovery and the other things. So these are the things as teachers, this is just I'm sharing on a personal level, that we should keep on telling our students, and while we teach them, because all these softwares which I just mentioned, each of them will require 2 or 3 hours presentation, that how exactly they work. But for students, it should be, at this point of time, at least they should be aware that such AlphaFold type of softwares are available, or AI tools like Arch is available. So usually in the interviews and all, the students are nowadays asked that, do you know what is EBV? Do you know what is benevolent AI? Do you know that how artificial intelligence is impacting the protein drug delivery, and so on and so forth? So I think as teachers of pharmaceutics person, and the another thing is that the point which I was trying to make again and again was that there is not a single area of drug delivery and designing which is unimpacted by artificial intelligence. The whole thing, right from the beginning to the end, whether you are a pharmacologist, whether you are a chemist, whether you are a scientist from biosciences or biotechnology, every aspect of drug discovery and development is impacted by artificial intelligence. So it is high time. It is difficult for all of us, very difficult for us, but then we have to acquaint ourselves with all these new developments. That is the way we can enrich our teaching and learning experience. Thank you so much, Dr. Devkant, once more. Thanks, Dr. Minki Mukhija. It was a wonderful being with you. Thank Dr. Anjali, Dr. Abhimanyu Prabjot, and Mohit Kamboji, Dr. Anurag Bhargav in absentia. I think it was a wonderful experience for me as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's always wonderful listening to you, ma'am. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Okay, okay.
Thank you, ma'am.